It is the end of an era. The Seattle Sounders, wow. They flamed out. They didn't even flame out of the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs.
For the first time in
their entire MLS history. First time in 13 years. So their 13-year streak is done.
We wouldn't be Sounders fans if we didn't mention it.
No, of course not. But what's even saltier is that New York Red Bulls tied it immediately this season. And these guys flamed out in the first round. So it's like it wasn't even worth it. So these guys just tied us just to tie us. It's disgusting.
Wait,
anyway, New York Red Bulls. They tied
the playoff record. I got you.
And it's like it's gross because it's like it's New York, it's Red Bulls.
Yeah,
yeah. They won a couple supporter shields. They kind of have a good thing, but like
I know
Red Bull don't even pay
attention
to them no more. But honestly, okay, so Sounders, they won the CCL. That was great. We had a whole couple episodes dedicated to that. Go back and listen if you want to. But then they proceeded to stink up the whole rest of this. Actually, no, they did pretty well afterwards through like March or whatever. And then that game that we
lost
went
Obed
to
Vargas
in Portland, the ceremony.
Oh yeah, beautiful sunny day,
summer,
incredible
with the
shade spot, 2-3 rows up.
Fucking 2-hour long opening ceremony just to celebrate and rub it into the Timbers' faces, which of course fucked us during the game. But the Sounders proceeded to stink up the joint the whole rest of the season.
Yeah. It became really hard to watch the Sounders towards the end of the year. And I didn't even watch the last 3 games. I remember hearing from you about how the Sounders usually start pretty hot and then they have a dip in form at some point.
They usually start slow, get hot during summer, and finish strong.
Exactly, right? And so this season was especially frustrating because it was kind of the opposite of that.
Absolutely.
It started really hot and even carried on. I mean, we didn't have great form during CCL, but the fact we won CCL kind of masked it and made it feel like middle of the season was fine.
Well, we did really good like the last like month or so after we won CCL, like a month and a half we did well, and then we just fuck man, just got worse and worse.
I mean, I've said it a million times. I think João Paulo is the most important player on the team, and losing him,
this season has definitely proven
that. And
it's like
I just think we need more midfielders. I think. I don't know.
Well, so let me ask you this, right? Because like you know how you were talking about João Paulo. Obviously, this season proved how important he is because we were trash without him. To me, last season proved that we're ready to move on from Nico Lodeiro because we were so good without him. We were specifically good without him last season. I'm not saying he's the reason we switched to a 4-man back line this season, but what I will say is I think that last game that he had versus San Jose, where he had 2 incredible goals, even though we still managed to tie the worst team in the league, I think that's a great send-off, but we need to send him back to Nacional. And that's kind of what I want to get to. If you had the option to make a few changes, what are like the biggest things that you really want to do?
It's interesting because Edgar, shout out to the homie Edgar. I was with him last night, and he was telling me, he's like, yo, I'm all caught up on the Rabona Boys episodes because he listens to every single one. He's a real one.
Shout out to Edgar, bro. He's going to get our first shirt, and he's going to be able to sell that shit for like $1,000 50 years from now.
He was telling me about the Sounders episode, and he was like, who did he say? He's like, you hate Arriaga. And I was like, I don't hate Arriaga. And he's like, but you said you'd get rid of him. Yeah. And I was like, I did?
Yeah. And I was like, you did not like Arriaga, bro.
No. That was at the beginning. You're thinking of the beginning. Like when I didn't really know Arriaga, I just seen a few games. And I was like when he first came here, and I was like, this kid is David Luiz, but like 21 or something. And like,
wow, David Luiz actually describes it perfectly. Overly aggressive, silly mistakes, incredible passing.
Right. And so then I remember, and I was like, dude, I say so many takes on this podcast. Like, I don't even remember half of them. But then I was like, oh, it all came back to me. And I was like, it was an episode we were talking about this exact topic. And I said, we need a whole new spine. And it was a game. We were playing a 5-back. We had been playing well, like for a game or two, switching back to the 5-back. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about how it's so much easier for us to play out the back without JP. Having the 5-back helps. Having Arriaga to have like more people close to him, and he's probably the best passing center back
that distributor
right now. Yeah, to be the distributor. And then we played this team playing the 5-back, and we couldn't even. I don't even think we made a forward pass. Like I remember the last 30 minutes of the game, we couldn't even make one pass. I remember that episode now too, because I was like, we couldn't get it to Rui Diaz, then we couldn't get it to our midfield, and then we just couldn't get it. I remember like anywhere.
I remember that game because you were like, we started out hot, and then we couldn't get the ball to Rui Diaz.
It was basically
we couldn't get it. Wow.
Basically, if you know what the episode I'm talking about, that's pretty much the last time I've talked about the Sounders.
Yeah, you went off that episode
because I was pissed. But if I'm referencing that long story, if I'm referencing that episode to address the question, I think we need a whole new spine. I'm not out on Arriaga. I think Arriaga's a perfectly good player.
He's coming around, folks.
No, I've been supporting Arriaga most of the season. You caught me in a moment of weakness. But let me just say no, because in that moment I was like, Arriaga in particular was not connecting a single pass, and I was very frustrated. And I was like, but I remember what I said also. I was like, we need a backup striker for Rui Diaz. We need another midfielder to play next to João Paulo and have Obed be the rotation guy. And we need another center back, one that we can depend on in every single game to be our passing out the back center back. I think we need to develop
Reagan is so cool.
So that's what I was going to say is the good news is we have a lot of young talent. We don't have to necessarily move the world to get these guys because they could just be with us right now. And maybe Jackson Reagan is that guy. Maybe Obed Vargas is that guy. Maybe Big Sam is something. He's lighting it up in Sacramento, wherever the hell he is.
Yeah, San Antonio.
Close. So I think, there's a lot of possible solutions, easy solutions we have too. My main takeaway from the season is the Sounders are just a team confused, a little like mixed up and jumbled.
Yeah.
And I think we have pieces like Jordan Morris, Nico Ladero.
Nuhu.
Specifically. Yeah. Nuhu, I guess. Although, I don't know. I'm not mad if we keep Nuhu.
I'm not either, but I think the time is right.
Mainly,
I'll get it. Go on.
Jordan Morris, Nico Ladero, I think are pieces of this team that just don't really fit the system anymore, and they're kind of outdated. And like Jordan Morris, like I don't know if he's trying to be a winger or a striker or where his finishing ability is or where it's gonna go, or just like what can he give us if he's playing on the wing.
I don't know how he managed to make the All-Star team this season. My man by the time he made the All-Star team, he had 3 goals.
I don't know. Season. I need a team with some balance and like a clear system and not accommodating players, And when we have Jordan Morris Jordan Morris will run his ass off, no doubt about it, right?
I feel like that's what we were doing at all times. We were shoehorning players no matter what formation we played.
That's what I'm saying. And like Jordan Morris will run his ass off. He'll do anything for this team. I'm not doubting his loyalty to like doing his job on this team, right? But is Jordan Morris really the guy out wide that we need to be getting up and down the field and helping out Nuhu or the left back to cover? He needs to be
on the end of shit, basically.
But is his finishing ability at the level that he can be? And so it's like, where does he fit into the team? And then with Nico Ladero, I remember when we were playing the 5-back 2 seasons ago, and I was like, I don't know where Nico Ladero plays when he comes back into this team. I don't understand where. I don't want him playing as a deep line midfielder.
That's why I was so eager to move on from him this time last season, because I was like, we don't need him.
I don't think we need him as a cam. I want to see Rusnak play cam next year.
Yeah, he needs to. So I want
to see Christian Roldan play in the midfield low key.
Yeah,
I want to see us invest
in the midfield
in a new winger to play.
I think we need 2 wingers.
Both sides. Yeah,
I would like to replace Jordan Moore. I honestly think. This is the thing. If the club was truly ruthless, they would send Jordan Morris somewhere. I hope
he can get like a championship move again, like the Swansea one. But I just don't think he will.
He did his ACL twice.
That would be great.
One ACL twice. Excuse me. He did 2 ACLs, bro. He's not. You know what I'm saying? And 1 each at that. Like. So now you can't trust either knee. He's probably not. But it's not even that. It's the fact he can't finish, bro. He cannot finish.
That's the biggest thing, yeah.
And when he does finish, like, it's like whenever he hits the ball, I don't know if it has to do with, like, ankle mobility or whatever it is, but it looks like in order to feel comfortable finishing, he has to fall over. Like, he has to.
Literally, yeah.
It's so weird and it gets on my nerves. But he also just doesn't have that. I don't know what it is. It could be a confidence thing like Virgil, but like in terms of like acceleration or just finding space, like everyone knows how to play against him anyways, and he doesn't. how do I say this? When he was about to go to Swansea, he was actually learning like kind of how to take guys on one. But it seems like since that injury and he came back, he doesn't have that ability anymore. Dang, I should have just put 10 more minutes.
Let me say my last point on this,
because I'm about to say something.
Okay. Jeez.
I got to.
He's posted this like mock formation he's done a couple times now of a 4-3-3 single pivot with the Sounders lineup across it. And I get what he's going for, because it's very similar to what Arsenal's doing with like the numbers single lone 6 João Paulo and then the 2 8s to join the attack and have this very balanced like structure, fluid attack that creates a lot of possession and holding the ball and showing off, you know, the skill of our team.
Yeah.
The problem is it reminds me of just before Arsenal achieved that, and where we had Aubameyang on the left wing.
Or god dang, Morris's finishing ability is more akin to Lacazette, in my opinion.
Yeah, but in terms of like having an attacker and not like a winger playing left wing, you know? Yes. And when I think of Jordan Morris, I think of Aubameyang. Like, you can't get Aubameyang to track back every single time and cover Kieran Tierney. Sorry, let's think about the Sounders. But you can't get Jordan Morris to come back and, you know, come back all the way, cover for Nuhu, go all the way back, be a natural crosser of the ball, be a natural cutback, being able to find the perfect space, the slot. It would always be Saka's playing on one side and then Pepe's on the other. Yeah. Or Aubameyang's on the other. And it became this imbalanced, you know, thing. And it's very much, we have Christian Roldan on one side, who is a midfielder.
You can only use a player like Jordan Morris or i.e. Pepe for one thing.
It feels like our right side's our creative, like fluid, dynamic side, and then the other side, Jordan Morris, Salah through ball,
just to stab. Like, exactly.
And then you become a one-dimensional team, as Arsenal were at that time.
Because you could focus on the left side or the right side on the set. Well, you
imagine if we had 2 Christian Roldans on either side.
It would be cool.
That's my thesis.
It would be cool.
Point right there.
I would like a winger. I don't think we get rid of Leo Xu, but if we find another player like Leo Xu, I'd like to go after Wesley again from Palmeiras. He was the first guy we were looking at before Palmeiras tried to put an $11 million price tag on him or whatever the fuck. Something out of our range. He hasn't necessarily kicked on. He's become an important member of the squad. I think he's a great winger and a great, almost like an attacking 8, or just like one of those guys who's like just really good at progressing the ball through traffic in open space, via dribbling, via passing. He's very good at that. I think we need one of those. I gotta say a couple things, and then we can go. If I was to change a few things for next season, remember the whole thing about fitting square pegs and round holes. I feels like whether we're 3-man backline or 4-man backline, there's always a peg that doesn't fit somewhere. So 3-man backline, Nuhu fits perfectly, but then Ladero kind of gets exposed a little bit. Well, he almost gets protected by having more midfielders, but he almost feels more useless. But then Jordan Morris gets exposed because he's either a striker or a wing back forward thing. He doesn't fit. Ladero, in my opinion, in the 4-2-3, in the 3-man back line, like we were talking about last season, he doesn't fit, in my opinion. But then you go to a 4-man back line, and guess who doesn't fit? Nuhu. But like in a 4-man back line, our fullbacks are still super important. You know what I'm saying? And then our winger / forward still isn't really effective, even in the position that fits him and Ladero. So it's like, to me, I'd actually get rid of all 3. Not get rid of, like, if we keep Nuhu, then we have to go back to a 3-man back line. But I think we need to capitalize on the World Cup, sell Nuhu, just sell him. Like, it's clear that he's not going to really develop much further with us, so we can find a taker who actually will play him and will develop him in his passing abilities. Then he's going to go on to do great things. But if he stays with the Sounders for too much longer, he's going to be stunted. That's one thing I noticed about the Sounders. We develop players, but it always seems like the players that we've developed even up to Nuhu, have always been kind of one-dimensional. Jordan Morris counts, DeAndre Yedlin counts,
not Christian Roldan.
Well, yes, Christian Roldan is the one exception, I guess. I'd get a fucking winger. I'd get a crazy backup striker. I'd replace Ladero, and I'd get another center midfielder to kind of maybe have I don't know, man. I want to rely on youth a lot next season. Actually, I want to rely on youth
Obed
and give
to play
them
as much as possible.
Give them the minutes to fucking turn into pros, man. This is like the last step that the Sounders need, in my opinion.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like if we get rid of Ladero and Morris, thinking about that 4-3-3, you could play Obed and you could play a new midfielder.
Yeah, I think Atencio has a lot
maybe
of
like potential. A senior, a more like seasoned vet. You know, to give Obed a little more direction in those advanced parts of the midfield. While João Paulo,
I can see Roldan doing that.
Roldan would be perfect
because honestly, Obed could be a beautiful 8. Like he would be a ridiculous 8.
There you go.
Okay, last thing though. In terms of the Sounders, I think the most important changes the Sounders need to make are to the coaches, because the biggest issue with last season, not only were our players old and just like looking slow and sloppy, our tactics were bad. Our tactics were horrible. We were turning into cross too much FC last season anyways, and then we tried continue crossing like crazy, with Ladero especially resorting to crosses because he doesn't have the speed or the skill to long balls or through balls off anymore. So now this guy runs to the corner and crosses in to a 5, 6, 7 center forward in Rui Diaz. We don't need that. We need to completely change our tactics. Defensively, we went from being the best team on set pieces to the worst.
Have to learn how to play out the back.
First things first, we went from being the best set piece team to the worst set piece team in the league, and that, for me, Jamie Traore leaving and then the new coach coming in and all of a sudden we're horrible, to me that's a clear thing. We have to change something in that. And then our attacking tactics just looking fucking horrible, just looking slow and everything, not pressuring the ball, not defending properly in midfield, not really having any cohesion, therefore putting our backline under constant pressure. Our backline was beleaguered this season, like compared to last season where like we would need them when necessary. This season there was too much pressure put on those guys. There was a lot of dumb defensive lapses, a lot of dumb mistakes, but a lot of just like basic elementary stuff happening too, where it's like as soon as one guy's out of position, the whole, like it just like bing bang boom, the whole thing just falls apart. So we have to change up a lot of stuff regarding our defensive coaching and our tactical / attacking.
I feel like you're right. You're right about that. I'm saying like I was thinking purely from like the field, like the players though.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it feels like a lot, but it's really not that much. Because I remember being like, we need a whole spine, we need this, but I'm like, realistically, we need like 2 signings.
We need to reinforce the midfield, but I honestly think the wide attack and the backup. Well, no, we need a left back like a motherfucker.
We need like 3 players, different. Maybe 4.
And we need a backup right back for Alex Roldan, because like I was saying, he didn't really do that well this season. And I think people finally started to realize at the end of the season. Last season, he fell off. The only time that Alex Roldan was really lights out at right back was the first half of 2021. Since then, he's kind of been coasting. I'm not going to lie. So,
okay, I misspoke. There's a lot of work to do.
There's a few things we actually have to do.
And then you put the coaching layer on top of it.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, so I think we're locked in for a lot of our players for next season. So I think the biggest thing that we could do is maybe change the coaching staff around, or maybe just add a few extra guys, add a coach that knows how to use a winger, and then buy some wingers. You know what I mean? I get a better defensive coach.
Pick a system, truly develop it, truly buy players that fit your system.
Send Freddie Juarez to Sounders 2 or something. Send Freddie Juarez and Andy Rose. Those are our 2 replacement coaches for Pineda and Traore. Send them to fucking S2 or something, because they're not cutting it in MLS, not at Sounders level at least. So, all right, that's it for the rants. This has been episode 43. The Ramona Boys podcast. This has been your boy Ben Scully, celebrating Liverpool's only trophy of the season, beating City at home.
And your boy Nick Solo, celebrating Arsenal 4 points clear in first place.
Say it again. There's only one. What is it? There's only one golden one.
Yeah, there's only one that's gold.
That's the alhamdulillah of Arsenal fans. I swear.
But is yours gold though? That's the other thing they say.
Is yours gold? Is yours gold? Anyways, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for rocking with us. Yeah, that's it. Peace out.
Later.